Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we turn decimals into fractions, because essentially decimals and fractions are the same thing, it's just different ways of showing parts of a whole number. Okay, so here we've got 0.7, and I want to turn it into a fraction, because I do actually like fractions more than I like decimals. So let's do that. So what we do is we're going to put this decimal over 1. Cool, there we go, we've turned it into a fraction. No, you can't have decimals in a fraction, so I have to keep going. So what I'm going to do is get a different colour, and I'm going to move my decimal point out of my question. I don't want it in there anymore, I'm getting rid of it. So I'm moving it out. So I moved it one spot, which means I need to add 1 0 onto the bottom. Okay, so now I've got 7 over 10, okay? So however many spots your decimal has to move, that's how many zeros you're going to add onto the 1 on the bottom. So now what I've got is 7 over 10. It's a fraction! Yes, and it's already simplified. That's as small as that fraction can get. Let's do this one. Okay, so I've got 0.35, and I'm going to put it over 1. But I'm not finished because it's still got a decimal in there. Ew. So I'm going to move that decimal out. I want it out of there. 1, 2, 2 spots. See you later. So because I moved it 2 times, I need to put 2 zeros on the end here. Okay, so now this has turned into 35 over 100. It's a fraction, but it's not simplified yet. I can get this down smaller. So thinking back to when we did fractions, the best topic ever, by the way. How good are fractions? Anyway, we need to figure out a number that goes into 35 and into 100. So 5 goes into both. So I'm going to divide the top by 5, and I'm going to divide the bottom by 5. So how many 5s go into 35? 7. 7 5s are 35. And then how many 5s go into 100? It'll be 20. And there we go. We have our simplified fraction. Let's try this one. So 0.06, I'm going to put it over 1. But I'm not quite done. I've got to get rid of this decimal place. So I'm moving it out 1, 2 spots. It's gone. So because I moved it 2 spots, I'm putting 2 zeros on the end. So now let me rewrite this. I've got 6 over 100. I've got to figure out a number that goes into 6 and 100. 2, because they're both even. So I'm going to divide the top by 2. And I'm going to divide the bottom by 2. So how many 2's go into 6? I get 3. And how many 2's go into 100? I get 50. And there we go. We have just turned these 3 decimals into fractions. Super easy. Now, essentially, in case you're wondering about the maths behind it, why I'm putting on those zeros, essentially what I'm doing is I've moved this 1 decimal place. So essentially I've multiplied it by 10. So I have to do the same to the bottom, in case you were interested in why I'm putting zeros on the end. Same here. By moving my decimal place 2 spots, I'm essentially multiplying it by 100, and whatever you do to the top, you've got to do to the bottom. So that's why this 1 turns into 100. But if you can remember the zeros, 1 spot equals 1 0, 2 spots equals 2 zeros, you're sweet. Happy days.